Hi, it's Rich from Planet PE, and I have not been making videos for quite a while, and I might do a little video on that at some point. But anyway, we are back making some videos. So I put something on Instagram the other day saying what videos do people need, and I had a couple of responses saying it needs to be about the antagonistic muscle pairs that we have in the body, how they work, and all that jazz. So this video is all about antagonistic muscle pairs and muscle movement. So, a few things that you absolutely need to know about this subject. One is what we mean by the word antagonistic muscle pairs. The second thing is in the pair of the body, whereabouts they are, what they do, and the movements that are caused by that. And also, the key thing is what muscles actually do. So we're going to look at those really quickly. So in your exam, you need to understand how muscle movement works, how your limbs move, how you're able to perform these wonderful sporting actions that we all do when we play. So in your body, we have joints. Now, joints are really simply just where two bones meet. So for instance, I've got a bone here and a bone there, they meet, they form a joint, which means it can move, but it can't move on its own. It needs muscles to be able to move the joint. Now, muscles are attached to bones via tendons. And really simply, that muscle pulls on the tendon, which is connected to the bone, and therefore the bone moves. Now, the only way that we can actually move is through that action. So that action of muscles pulling on bone because they're attached to the tendon. So they really pull on the tendon to pull on the bone. Now, in your exam, you need to understand what happens at the shoulder, what happens at the knee, what happens at the elbow, and what happens at the ankle. Now, essentially, the same thing happens, just you need to learn the muscles, and we've got that in another video along the way. So, let's go. So, antagonistic muscle pairs. Basically, what that means is that we have a pair of muscles. One of them is called the agonist, the other is called the antagonist. Now, those words can be a little bit confusing, but essentially, the agonist is the prime mover. It's the one that is pulling on the bone, okay? So if you take my bicep, for instance, it pulls on my radius and ulna, which means as it pulls, it creates flexion at the elbow. Now, the way that happens is really simply that muscle is pulling on the tendon, which forces the bones to come towards it. Now, muscles can only pull, they cannot push. So if I'm in this position, how do I then get into that position? Well, because the muscles work as a pair. So we have the bicep and the tricep that work as a pair. So as the tricep now becomes the agonist and starts to pull on the bones, I end up with extension at the elbow. So this term of antagonistic pairs, one of these agonist, it's the shorter word, it shortens, it pulls on the bone, it's the prime mover. The antagonist, it's a longer word, that muscle is lengthening and relaxing to then create the movement. So they can't work at the same time. So they can't both be the agonist at the same time, and they both can't be the antagonist. For muscle to pull on bone, movement has to take place, and that's what we call an isotonic contraction. Okay, so you might see that in your exams along the way. Now, that happens at the elbow with the bicep and tricep. It also happens at the ankle with your tibialis anterior and your gastrocnemius. It also happens at the knee, where we have the quadriceps and the hamstrings working as a pair. So we have these pairs of muscles that work together, where one of them pulls, the other one relaxes, one of them contracts, the other one relaxes, or one of them shortens and the other one lengthens. All of that is the same. It's what we call antagonistic muscle pairs. So hopefully that has helped you out. So quick recap. Number one, muscles are attached to bones via tendons. Muscles pull on the tendon, which then pulls the bone towards it. So, hopefully a few things there to help you through your GCSE exams, and also if you're doing science out there, it will come up in your science exam as well, because it's all biology at the end of the day. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and see you again really soon.